Okay, record on this. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the SpeakerMC Show, where it's all about relationships. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Marcia Chambers, and I am your host for this evening. If you are new to the show, let me give you some background information. We are 60 minutes of free-flowing, non-scripted conversation with me and two guests. We explore a specific topic on 3 different levels. First, what is the current relationship problem and how can we identify it? 2, we break it apart to discover the root of the issue. And then 3, we offer tips and possible solutions to resolve the issue. The conversation is built around one specific topic, which tonight, it's called spillage. You know, that work-life balance when work and home stresses collide and the effects of that. I'm pretty sure you guys have met some people out there who are going through this at the moment. This show promises to be a lot of fun. But before I introduce our guests tonight, just let me do some housekeeping. The aim of the show is, 1, for our audience to educate and empower them with information about creating the most harmonious environments and boosting your self-confidence. 2, for our guests to share an opportunity to broadcast their business to a circle of influence outside of their own immediate circle. And 3, for all our attendees to have fun. Just to have plain old fun. So chime in when you can. There's a chat box right there. If you want to type in your questions or comments, please feel free to do so. Our guests will also share a gift with the audience at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned all the way till the end. Now, tonight, let's meet our guests. We have 2 guests. First, I'd like to introduce a speaker, author, magazine publisher, radio personality. He's the owner of Small Business Forum, Small Business Forum radio and magazine, and he operates out of the San Francisco area. He is one of the premier authorities on connecting people of influence, connecting them to one another. His popular internet radio show is called Small Business Forum Radio, and it's found at www.blogtalkradio.com/Tony Wilkins. I think I have his info in the chat box. His radio show reaches over 250,000 business owners globally, and it is one of the top business shows on the network. Mr. Wilkins is also the publisher of Small Business Forum magazine, Foodie Quarterly, and Podium magazine, as well as a speaker's directory. In addition, he has launched a very successful booking service for authors and speakers, and he is the creator of the annual Small Business Empowerment Conference and the Women of Influence Summit, which I must say is starting tomorrow. Woohoo! Put your hands together and welcome Mr. Tony Wilkins. Hi, Tony.
Hi, how are you? And thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely. The one thing that is not listed, because it's relatively new, is I've got 9 conferences that I'm doing in 2017, and I've got a second radio show that I'm launching January 12th called The Coaching Hour, and it's going to be nothing but coaches, and each coach has a half an hour to educate the audience. So I'm building it from nothing. We're going to do cross-promotion on the other radio show, and it's going to be pretty awesome, I think.
Oh, wow. I can't wait. You know what my topic of expertise is. I hope you find a little there for me.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Tony, for being here on the SpeakerMC Show.
Thank
you. And our next guest, he's a speaker and artist manager. He is the CEO and founder of Freedom Artist Management, located here in Brooklyn, New York. He can be found on Facebook at facebook.com, YP Madame, M-A-D-E, oh, Made Me. I'm sorry, YP Made Me. I don't know why I was reading that as Madame. This gentleman, he is a musician, a producer, and an artist manager. He creates timeless music, which is what he strives for. And some of his hobbies are reading, playing chess, golf, and hanging out with his girlfriend. Put your hands together and please welcome Mr. Jim Leroy. Hi, Jim.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Well, I hope you have a little bit more energy later.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know, it's so funny. Jim and Tony operate on the same kind of energy dynamic, whereas me, I'm all the way up at 10, and they're like, that's 5, a cool 5.
High energy, and we're kind of mellow and like, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is, Marcia pulls it out of you after a while. After you're around her, it comes out. That side of you comes out.
I know Marcia, you're one of the most positive persons for people that I've ever met.
Thank you.
And whenever I call you, I always feel like I'm bitching and moaning about something. And I actually have to check myself a little bit because I'm like, she must think that I do nothing but sit there and moan. And I am the most unhappy person you've ever met. And it's not true. I'm actually quite a lovely person.
You are.
I think sometimes people exhaust me, or I let people exhaust me, and so I have to, get my frustrations out. But I'm generally a nice guy.
You are, and you're very funny too with your complaints. Yeah.
Oh,
boy. Well, welcome, guys. Thank you both for being here on the show tonight. And I am your host, Marcia Chambers, speaker, sexual health consultant, online TV personality, author, and creator of SWELL for Women. What is SWELL? It's a product that I've recently launched, and it's sexual wellness and empowered lifestyle living for women. It helps women to gain confidence in the bedroom, achieve sexual wellness with the use of toys, and expand their sexual vocabulary. Swell helps women to confidently lead empowered lifestyles. So you can find me on Facebook, marciachambers.com/swell. So here we are tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in the SpeakerMC Show. And the SpeakerMC Show tonight, SpeakerMC Show is always inspired by some kind of real life situation. And this show tonight is called Spillage, and it discusses when the home and the life stresses collide. A lot of people are trying to find that work-life balance. But what happened was 2 days ago, and it was so apropos. 2 days ago, when it was raining, I think, Jim, you might remember this. It was raining in New York, and my umbrella just wasn't acting right. So I sought some refuge in one of those little stores, the 99-cent stores. But when I went to the store, as crowded as it was, because it was Saturday, there was some big uproar, I should say, not rapport, uproar going on towards the back of the store. Nosy me, I walked towards the back. I'm still browsing around. And 2 guys were just at it. Well, I shouldn't say 2 guys were at it. There were 2 men standing there. And one was literally just eating the other one alive, so to speak. He was all in his face and at the top of his lungs. And I just couldn't understand, why was this guy just being subjected to this nonsensical treatment? And I say, these are the people that go postal. These are the people, they subject themselves to this kind of mistreatment at work. And then when they get home, they take it out on the dog. They take it out on their kids. They take it out on their significant other. And you hear about these terrible situations at home. This one shot this one, or whatever it is, some kind of nonsensical crime. And it all stems from something like this. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted us to explore this spillage and how it manifests into our home lives, how it manifests into our workplace. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they said that 40% of people say that they are in a stressful job. 40%. 26% of Americans say that they're stressed out at work. Some say the jobs are stressful, but others say that it's affecting them. It's stressing them out. Now, the work-life balance, 52% of them say that their job demands are interfering with their home. And 43% of those people say that the home is interfering with their job. Now, with today's economy where people are doing 2 and 3 jobs at a time, they have so many different roles, so many, they start early, they end late, they don't get to see their loved ones. You know, all of these mixtures are going on. Can we, gentlemen, explore the situation that I discussed, where the guy, the manager, I want to say the manager was just ridiculously bawling out the employee? Can you just give me an idea of what, let's take the manager's perspective for argument's sake. What do you think could be the reason why? I mean, maybe the guy made a mistake or something, but I mean, I think that was a little over the top, his whole reaction. What do you think caused that?
Well, I mean, unless you know what was behind the situation, unless you know whether or not this guy is on medication, unless you know what was going on, you kind of don't know. You're speculating. Mm-hmm. And it could have been anything. It could have.
Well, let's speculate.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of general. Yeah, I mean, if he was yelling at the employee, first of all, no employer should ever go off on an employee in that manner, in my opinion, under any sort of circumstances, because once you do that, then that gives the other person license to go off on you. Okay, so you always got to remain calm, because things can get escalated to the point where things are said or actions are taken, and then you can't take it back. So so that's number one. I think if the employee or the employer should always remain calm, because he's in the person of the employee. Number two, you don't, as I said, know. Hello, I think we're losing. Okay. Something just happened there. You don't know what was going on or what the situation was. So you really, you can't really judge, but you don't know what was going on. You may have a different take.
Now I have the exact same take. The thing is, we don't know exactly what the situation was. Like, we could sit here and come up with 100 different scenarios why the manager came out like that. But what I could offer and say is, it really falls down to someone's calling. If that manager loves his business or loves his job and is having a good personal life, most likely he would not react the way he reacted. Someone that's having a difficult personal life and a difficult with their career, like what they're doing, they're not happy with what they're doing, then chances are they would react like that to an employee. So it's hard to answer, but we could come up with different scenarios why someone would react that way. Well,
the reason why I brought up that situation was because I thought it was a little over the top. That's number one. And I thought it was apropos for our topic tonight, because there are so many things. Yeah, we don't know what the reasons were why he reacted the way he did. And I just wanted us to investigate like different scenarios. Yeah, there could be a whole host of things. So that's what I wanted us to discuss. What could be some possible reasons why this occurred? What could be some possible reasons why this guy reacted to this employee the way he did? What could be some possible reasons to make him just lose sight that, hey, it's a crowded store, it's a Saturday. How do you think that this employee would be feeling you're blowing up on him like this? So I just wanted us to explore those dynamics.
Well, that's a different question, because, you know, from my perspective, if somebody, I kind of
you're fading out, Tony.
Can you hear me?
Your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I have sort of a different take on it, because one of the things that I don't do is respond to someone who's yelling at me. I had someone who called me up because, you know, I was doing this this conference this week, and they called me up a couple of weeks ago, and they said, you know, well, I'm not on the poster. And she was really upset, and I said, well, here's the deal. Number one, did you send the picture to me, you know, for the deadline? And she's like, well, I know I did, and I did, you know, and she was yelling at me, and I'm going, you need to take a breath, because I don't respond to that. You know, I mean, this is fixable. It's not the end of the world. But if you're going to continue to yell at me, we're not going to get it accomplished. You know, and she took a breath, and she apologized. She said, you're right, I'm sorry. You know, I'm just really, really stressed out. And I get it. I'm stressed out too. You know how stressed out I am, because we've had many conversations about it.
Yes.
But one of the things I try never to do is to take it out on someone else. And when I do, on the rare occasions, I always bag it down and I say, you know what, I apologize, that was inappropriate. And, you know, I'm going through something right now. You know, so there are many reasons why people really kind of lose. You know? And like I said, that, you know, we don't know the reason.
Tim, you are doing a lot of movement over there.
It's not me. I'm not doing much movement.
Yeah, I hear a lot of movement too.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement going on. So, Jim, what's your take on this?
I guess I can chime in and give an example also. When I used to work in retail, I remember there was a situation where a customer came in, like we closed the windows, and customers usually have to wait till someone else open up. So a customer didn't have the patience, and because she didn't have the patience, it kind of got me upset because I was going through my own personal situation from home. This is a perfect scenario right here. Personal situation at home, and I'm going into work, and she's upset, and two people that's upset really, it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. So long story short, I said something inappropriate, and then it was like, okay, so then you have to sit there and wait. So when I said that, all the other employees looked at me like, did you really just say that? And then the customer said, you're not supposed to talk to me like that. So I ignored her, but it's after the fact I realized, wow, I came off wrong. I should have never did that. And I tend to do that a lot. Whenever I do something wrong, I either tell the individual I'm sorry, or I'll realize it after the fact, like, wow, I messed up. I could have avoided that. So just to go back to the manager, we can come up, one scenario I can give is, you know, he's probably having a situation with his wife or his girlfriend. So now he has the opportunity to I guess spaz or vent at someone. You know, chances are as a manager, you can't do that to the customers. That's a wrong example. So exactly. An employee is in front of you. that's a perfect, that's like a person that's boxing. You got the punching bag in front of you. So that was, I think that we can say that was his opportunity of getting some hits in, but it's not fair, you know, because now that employee gets upset. Now it trickles down to the customer.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And then it trickles down to the business's bottom line.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Marcia, you know, you and I have had many conversations about my frustrations with working with speakers, and you know, it's usually not the big stuff. It's usually the really tiny little things.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, they'll email me about, you know, I forgot what I'm speaking about, and you know, conference is the next day. You know, and it's usually information they can kind of look up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on the website, but they can't be bothered with doing that.
Yes.
And you know, I think what bothers me, I can only speak from my own experience. What bothers me is the lack of consideration for my time and for the efforts that I'm putting into it. And I'll give you a really good example. Yesterday, I happened to be online. Yesterday was Sunday. I happened to be online. You know, and I'm taking care of some last minute details. And so this one woman sends me an instant message. And she says, well, Tony, I want to speak at the women's conference tomorrow. And I'm going, number one, that ship has sailed like a couple of months ago. And so we're not even accepting speakers to speak at this conference. We've already, you know, we're promoting it. I'm like, what do you expect me to do, you know, 3 days before a conference? So that was number one. So then she wanted to see if she could get a table. And I said, we've already, you know,
looked up.
We don't have any more tables.
Yeah.
You know, so, and keep in mind, she's bugging me on a Sunday. Kind of my day off. And then this woman didn't even have the decency when she found out she couldn't get a table, because she was like, well, you know, the women are they're my audience. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're so hot, if that's your audience, why didn't you register months
before
ago?
Exactly.
You know, this was months ago. And this woman, and this is where I'm talking about being really inconsiderate, and this is why people kind of go off. She didn't even have the courtesy to say thank you. Oh, sorry to bother you on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I know you're busy. Nothing. She just went away. You know.
Wow.
And so this speaker, and you know how I am, this speaker is somebody I will never do business with. And I have no problem telling her, this is why I will not do business with, because it was inconsiderate. And that's part of the reason why people go off. Absolutely.
So getting back to this stress, and if you're just joining the show, this is the SpeakerMC Show, and today we are discussing the topic of spillage, where the home and the work stresses collide. And we have our two guests, Mr. Tony Wilkins and Mr. Jim Leroy, and I'm your host, Marcia Chambers. And we delved into the scenario with the manager yelling at the employee. Now, let's take a toll. And do you think that this employee is stressed because of this scenario? Just a yes or no.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So his stress is now going to be manifested how? He's going to be so frustrated with all that's going on. This guy's yelling at him, number one. He probably feels a little emasculated, like, yeah, he's just trying to sun me, you know? And now he's going to react negatively. So this is a guy, and New York, I don't know how well you know New York or how well these people know New York, but New York is a commuter-friendly city. So everything goes on a subway or a train, and masses of people together on a train. and this fool just got yelled at. So now he is all pissed off. How's he going to react with other people? Do you know people like this that have just internalized all this stress from home or stress from work and just don't know how to either vent it or get rid of it or utilize that negative energy and turn it positive? How do you think it shows up? I'm saying frustration and non-production in work and all that. How do you think it shows up?
Before I became a business owner and thought about entering into business, I'll put myself in that employee's shoes. Mm-hmm. If it was me and I got yelled at the manager, I'll let you know how many people just got affected. The customer's going to get affected. The other employees I'm working with just got affected. If I'm driving home, people on the road is going to get it.
Road rage.
People on the road is going to get it. When I get to the house, whoever's home is going to get it. And then tomorrow, I might not even call in for work. So it's something that does trickle down in many areas in a person's life if they don't have balance, if they don't have structure, if they don't have the ability to, okay, whatever he's yelling at me for, maybe he got his own personal issues.
Right.
But
he's just projecting.
I understand what he's trying to tell me, because obviously maybe I did something incorrectly. So I understand that. But your tone and the way you're coming at me, that's beyond. That's way beyond. But it's important for someone to have balance, to know how, okay, this is work. This is my personal life. I'm not taking this home with me, and I'm not going to yell at my wife or yell at my kids in regards to what this guy is going through. So it really falls down to balance.
So it falls down to balance. And Tony, I want you to give me your commentary on the flip side. I'm going to play devil's advocate. So the manager who's yelling at the employee, do you think that he has no power at home? Do you think that maybe it could have been that his wife pissed him off, or his girlfriend pissed him off, or the dog pissed him off, something pissed him off, and he had no control over that situation? Do you think that these things could have played a part? And I know we're just circumspecting the situation and we're speculating, but do you think that something like that could also be the cause of the way he's showing this disrespect to this employee?
Well, I mean, it could be, it could also be more in line of what happens to me, where, someone is being inconsiderate of my time or making a really, really, stupid or lazy mistake that could be avoided. And, I'm one of those people where I don't mind helping anyone who needs it. I don't mind being of service to anybody else. But one of the things that really gets under my skin is if you inconvenience me and you don't care.
Yeah.
If I have to tell you something over and over and over again, and you just do it any kind of way, then I'm going to get annoyed. Okay. Now, I probably would not react in the same way that this person did, if this manager did, but I'm going to have a reaction that's probably going to be negative. What I usually would do is, knowing me, I try and rein it in, and I will say, okay, this is the issue that I have. This is unacceptable, and I would like to talk about it. And I'll give you a really great example. Here was a young lady who's supposed to be helping me out. And flakiness is really kind of one of my pet peeves. I have a lot of pet peeves. That's one of my major ones.
Okay.
And so
flakiness.
Yeah. And so I have this person who's going to be helping me out for one of the conferences. And I sent her an email, and I said, shoot me an email and just, let me know that you're blah, 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 blah. Well, long story short, I happened to run into this woman a couple of days ago, and I threw her all sorts of shade. I like her a lot, but I was sort of like, she said, "Oh, was I supposed to get back with you?" And like, yeah, you were supposed to get back with me, and I needed some information from you. And, oh, I've just been so busy doing blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't care, And I had to sort of hold my annoyance in check, and I sat her and I just simply said, look, you're coming to me because you want access to my connections. I can't give that to you if you're going to flake out. So for me, it's really a matter of how do you talk to people, and if you lay it out, and you say, this kind of behavior is really inappropriate. Here's why. And if you want, a better outcome, then you're going to have to show me that you deserve it.
Okay. Well, so you're saying that in consideration, flakiness, I'm saying that maybe it's a reaction to his powerlessness. Sometimes some people have pet peeves. Like, you don't think so?
I don't think that's it. I don't think if an employer is yelling at an employee, he or she is the one who's in power. No. Powerless
on the home front. So because he's powerless on the home front, now he's exerting that power at the work front.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
No?
I'm not so sure that's applicable because, yes, there are cases where, the man, might be getting emasculated, or the woman might feel like she doesn't have any power at home and then brings it to the office. Yeah, absolutely. There are cases that, that go along with that. But I think, and I'd like to think that most business people can kind of separate the two. There might be some carryover, but I think I like to think that most people sort of hold that in check, and they know if I'm ticked off at my husband, I'm going to try and leave that at home, but there might be some carryover, and I might take it out on my assistant.
Well,
I think that's what you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because that's the nature of the show, because some people just don't know how to rein it in. Some people don't know how to separate home from work, and they bring both intertwined, So whatever the stresses are. So some people, maybe they have an ill parent or an ill child or some illness at home, and it's stressing them out in that way. Or maybe there's ineffective communication going on the home front, and because of that ineffective communication, then no one gets heard, and it's a constant bickering match and constant arguing. So the home life is toxic, and I don't want to go home. So because you're upset, then you come to work and you're all in angst and your shoulders are all tense, and you blare out at anybody. So I'm exploring those dynamics, that when there's disharmony in one realm, that it affects the other realm if you don't know how to contain it, if you don't know how to separate it, if you don't know how to keep home at home and keep work at work, kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what I was exploring, that dynamic. Now, speaking of that dynamic, so now that we've kind of torn it apart and figured that maybe there are some job stressors that are influencing people, or in this case, that gentleman, and maybe it could be, I don't know, job insecurity. Maybe he's not sure whether he's going to maintain his position. I don't know. I'm just throwing some stuff in the mix here. So possible solutions, and we kind of touched on the separation, keeping church and state separated, keep the home at home and keep the work at work. What other things do you think might be possible solutions to reduce the stress? Let's talk about reducing the stress. Jim, anything you would like to offer?
While we was just having this conversation, one of the things I was thinking, that manager probably, you know how managers always have quotas and goals to meet. So one of the reasons probably could be he or she is not reaching their goal, and that probably got him upset, and because the employee is probably not helping at the same time. So possible solution, on being that I already took the employee side, a solution for the employee, and I'll let Tone take the manager side, or we could flip it around. It's up to you. But a possible solution for, when you say a solution for not letting it trickle down to the house, or a solution for, yeah?
A solution to reduce the stress that could probably be causing, whether it's the stress from the job. Since you're taking the employee side, let's take the stress from the home, for example. Because the employee, remember, the employee, he was just standing there, whether he was shocked or he wanted to knock his lights out or what the deal was, but he was just standing there and taking it. But the effect of all of that negativity, you know, I'm pretty sure there are repercussions. There were.
We first have to say it's something very hard to do. It's not the easiest task to do. Like, if you're going through, perfect example is the example with when I was going to my retail job and I had something personal going on from home. It was my younger brother that was going through his personal crisis, like a life situation, and it affected me throughout that entire day. So now when I went to work, it fell down on the customer. So a solution would be pretty much telling myself what the goal is. And on top of that, I believe in prayer. So if I utilize that before I went into work, maybe the outcome would have been a little differently. So a possible solution on my part would be pretty much telling yourself what the goal is. You know, what is ultimately my goal for being here? Where am I trying to go? And then if you believe in prayer, absolutely utilize that time before you go in and just connect spiritually on a spiritual level. So whenever something tries to get to you, you can approach it a little differently.
Well, I think there's another aspect that we haven't really addressed, and that has to do with being codependent around somebody else's crap. You know,
say that again, Tony. Codependent around what?
I think around somebody else's crap. I mean, you know, if your boss is yelling at you and it seems a little over the top, then yes, it could have something to do with what's going on at home. And that's the time that you are supposed to say to yourself, this really has nothing to do with me because this person is overreacting. This has to do with something else. And I'm not going to internalize that and take on his nasty attitude and take it on as my own. And sometimes we have a tendency of doing that. We you know, when somebody is coming at us with a negative attitude, we tend to absorb that kind of negativity or that negative energy, and we take it on as our own instead of saying, you know what, this is your energy, and I'm not going to make it mine. And you have every right to be annoyed at me, but it's how you come at me. And if you come at me with a lot of negativity and you're you know, now I'm all tensed up and I'm going to take it out on somebody else. Where what we should be doing is saying, I'm not going to be codependent around your crap. I'm going to sort of listen to you, but I'm not going to absorb your energy. And I'm not going to let it ruin my day or, you know, or whatever. Because if an employer ever came to me that way,
you'd knock him out.
Like, well, no, I wouldn't knock him out.
He's walking out. He's walking out.
But I would probably say, you know what? You know what you can do with this job, and you know, whatever.
You know what you can do with this job.
And, you I'm going to call him on it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm going to give him a chance to kind of calm down. But I'm not going to let anybody talk to me that way. No way. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't, you have a choice. You know, just because somebody's yelling at you doesn't mean you have to take that on as your issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? Even if you're in the wrong.
Right.
Even if you're in the wrong. You know?
Right.
And especially if you're in the wrong, you can say, you know what, I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Let's figure out how we can
work together
on this. Exactly.
Right.
You know, where we're not, and then let's try and move on. Because what you don't want is more negative feelings to build up, and you know, that sort of thing. And if you do that, that other person is going to come back to you probably later on in that day and say, you know what, I was really out of control.
And you know what, too? Not only can that negative energy be absorbed, it can also manifest into something like cardiac arrest or depression, or, well, besides the obvious, he's not going to be the most productive employee at work, but the health will also take a toll eventually if he constantly internalizes and subjects himself to that kind of treatment or mistreatment. So Jim says prayer. What do you say, Tony, to help to reduce that stress? To just call them on it?
Well, yeah, I mean, as I said, you don't want to get codependent around somebody else's stuff.
Okay.
You don't know where that anger is coming from. You don't know, particularly if it seems a little out of bounds or out of place. You know, we get annoyed and frustrated with other people, and sometimes we can take it out on people. And here's a really great example. You know that I lost two really good friends within months of each other. Mm-hmm. And I went through a period where I couldn't be around anyone. I couldn't be, I was kind of like a wounded animal, whereas if I were around people, and they approached me the wrong way, I would just sit down, you know. Mm-hmm. And I happened to be in one of my favorite watering holes, and somebody asked me, there's always alcohol involved. Somebody came to me and they said, I was at the jukebox and I was putting money in, and they said, Tony, would you mind playing a song for me? And I went completely off.
What?
Everything but a child of God. Told him that he had been sitting on his ass for I don't know how long, where he could have been playing the music himself. Oh, I read him for Phil in front of the entire bar. Now,
you were like that manager.
That's not my normal reaction. And after I calmed down, because he had only asked me to play a song for him, but after I calmed down, I went back, I apologized and said, look, I'm in a really bad place. Mm-hmm. I apologize. Let me buy a drink. You know, and he knew that it wasn't me.
Right.
It's one of those things where he had the perfect reaction. He's like, you know, I'm sorry. Because he could see that I was going through something and he didn't become codependent around my stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you now. I got you. Okay. So my 2 cents to this as far as reducing the stress, I think that I'm all for massage. I think everybody should just get a massage every week. Every week, massage is on the menu. But besides that, to just de-stress and detox, I think being around maybe a group of people that you can kind of talk it out with, whether it's the manager to talk out whatever his ills are, or it's the employee who got screamed at, you know, he could talk it out with someone. Maybe he can't talk it out with his loved one because it might come off the wrong way. He might be so worked up, but having a neutral party, then maybe they could talk it out and resolve it or de-stress that kind of way. Now,
yeah, Jim, you probably want to chime in on that one, and then I've got something to say.
chime in on. Now you can go first.
What I was going to say is that's a perfect example because, I tend to call Marcia, or I have, people that have known me longer who I will call on a regular basis, and they allow me to vent, and that's kind of our conversation. How you doing? I'm okay. How are you? And then I go into my diatribe of, But what's interesting about that, and I always apologize, and I always thank them for listening to me, but they also know that's part of the deal because I listen to them, when they're going through it, and they know they can call me, anytime, day or night, if they're going through it. But I think the bottom line is, I think we all need sort of that person that we can go to, or people that we can go to, where we can just say, you know what, damn it, this happened, and I'm really, really frustrated. And you'd be amazed at how well, how much better you feel, and you can get on with the day, and that's what makes it. So that's all I want to say.
Absolutely. I think I really recommend that and a massage all day, every day.
I definitely agree. The massage thing I got to try. I never tried it yet. But one thing I do know, I haven't tried it yet.
Oh my gosh.
I could imagine how it feels. I get it, but I never tried it, like really going out and get a massage out there. But one thing I could say is, I'm not the type of person that goes out and tell people how I feel. A lot of people notice it. Like a lot of my friends, they'll notice something is wrong. And then eventually they'll ask me and they'll like really get it out of me. And then that's when, like perfect example, my girlfriend, she knows when something is wrong. And she knows how to bring it out of me and try to listen and find ways of helping me understand or helping me just leave it alone, or put it behind you, move forward, things like that. She's great at that. That's one thing I could say. So I think it's extremely important for us to have that the group of friends that you trust, that you can go to and that you can vent with, for them to share their side of it.
But you also have to have people that are willing to actually listen.
Listen. Exactly. Exactly.
Because you can't go to, and Jim, you can't really go to everybody, and vent, because not everybody wants to hear it.
Right.
And one of the stories that I always tell is, you've heard me talk about, Marcia, you've heard me talk about my aunt, 79 years old, and I'll be like, Aunt Orlean, blah, blah, blah. Well, I remember back in 1875. Like, you were born then. We're not talking about you now. Let me get this out. And she'll listen, but it can be a little frustrating.
Yes.
To tell her that the world is being mean to you, and you just need somebody to listen. And be there for you, and without trying to turn it around and make it about them.
Or how, let me play devil's advocate. How about the annoying boyfriend or girlfriend? Oh, baby, what's wrong? Oh, what's wrong with you? Do you want to talk? You want to talk now? Oh, what's wrong? You sure? Yes. Jim is opening his eyes like, yes.
I'm single, so I don't have anybody annoying a lot of me like that.
Well, it could be boyfriend, girlfriend, or just a friend. Someone who's close to you and knows your personality. Like, you guys know I'm always like, yeah! And the day when I'm like,
yeah, something's wrong.
Something's wrong, right? But then, even though something might be wrong, maybe it's something that I could really work out. Maybe I just need a moment of silence to kind of just work it out. But then nothing is more annoying than when somebody keeps constantly asking, are you okay? You sure you're okay? Is everything okay? There's like a little fly or a bee or something like, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, because anybody who knows me knows when I really don't want to talk, I'm not talking. And the more you ask me, the more annoyed I'm gonna get. So when I'm ready to talk, I will.
You'll talk.
I will talk. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, my aunt, who always, whenever I would go and visit and I would spend the weekend, she's a talker. She's like, well, you're not really talking much. And I'm like, no, I'm watching TV. I don't know. I don't want to talk. Why not? What's wrong with it? And there could be nothing wrong, but she will try and get me to, and which annoys me even more. Because there wasn't anything wrong a minute ago. Now there is. Now I'm ready to put the
Oh my goodness! Oh wow, this was fun.
I do love it.
Oh well, I hope so.
Yeah, I do love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
Oh my gosh! Well, guys, thank you so much.
Somebody asked, Christmas lights up already?
Well, it's October 24th. Okay, not even Thanksgiving. We're running right past Thanksgiving. Okay, gone straight to Christmas. Let's go. I thank you guys for tonight. I've had so much fun just chit-chatting with you guys and just fleshing out when work and home collides and how to reduce your stress and how it builds up and all this kind of stuff. I want to give the floor 4 minutes each so that you guys can talk a little bit about your business, talk a little bit about how people can reach and connect with you, and don't forget that free gift that we promised them. So, Jim, you want to go first?
First of all, I'll say I'm very upset the time have run out. 50-something minutes went by very quickly. I just want to say that.
Yeah, we had fun.
Once again, everyone, my name is Jim Leroy, and I'm a music producer and artist manager. A little bit about myself is I manage a lot of great artists that are looking to change the current industry, changing what's going on, changing the music. And another thing is they have a positive message with it. The offering that I am giving this evening is one of my artists who's currently on tour. He's in Russia right now. He's coming back Wednesday. Wow. And he's been there for a month, and he's coming back Wednesday to drop his project. Project name is Chase Winters, his name, and it's the EP. So that's what I'll be offering this evening, and it's coming out on the 28th of this month.
Wow. It's an MP3, right, Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Can you put in the chat line or in the chat section how people can retrieve this MP3 download?
No problem.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And if you would mind, giving us some feedback after the show in the SpeakerMC, I'll send you the link where you could do that. I really enjoyed connecting with you and chatting with you. I think it was so much fun. And now we'll have Mr. Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins, would you like to tell people a little bit about your multitude? I swear to God, you might be Jamaican because you have so many jobs. You're a radio person. Can you just tell us a little bit about Tony Wilkins and how they can connect with you and your free offering today?
Yeah, absolutely. I do quite a number of things, as you mentioned. I have 4 books. 3 of them are on business. 1 is on cooking. I read magazines. 2 of them are business magazines. 1 for speakers, 1 for small business, and the other magazines for food enthusiasts. I do an internet radio show for small business. That's the original that you spoke about. And then I've got the new show, The Coaching Hour.
Yes.
Which is making its debut January 12th at 3 p.m. Pacific. And directory for speakers, which if you get a copy, it's the 2017 edition, which is $225. We will give you 1 year of advertising in Podium Magazine. That's a monthly magazine. Just email me at the email that's listed, AWIL267487@AOL.com, and I will send you the link, and all you have to do is register, and then you get 1 year of advertising in Podium Magazine. And that's it. I do the booking service for speakers. I do a bunch of other stuff too. I just don't even remember anymore.
Wow.
I do so much.
You do so many things, right?
I do so many things, absolutely.
Well, it's good to keep you busy. Thank you all. Thank you all. I really had a good time discussing this topic of spillage with you guys. And my name, as I said, is Marcia Chambers, and my latest project is SWELL for Women. And you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Marcia Chambers Swell Women. Or you could find me at www.marciachambers.com/Swell Women. And Swell Women is an entity that gives women the permission to be sensual. It expands their sexual vocabulary and gives them that confidence to operate both in and outside of the bedroom. So join me on Swell TV, which is launching in January as well, for shows about the interpersonal and the intimate relationships. This SpeakerMC Show speaks about the esoteric relationship, how you relate to yourself, your food, your money, to others. And Swell TV delves a little bit deeper under the skin, under the epidermis, so to speak. So we have reached the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. It was fun. Please feel free to connect with us on our Facebook page, our group page, and we can continue the conversation there in the SpeakerMC Green Room. And our next show will be Monday, November 7th, and it will be airing on the same channel, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Eastern, and it will be talking about, you ate all of it? Yeah, right in time for Thanksgiving. So here is the information for the Green Room, HTTPS Facebook groups, and this long, lengthy number here. So copy, click it, join us in the Green Room. And I thank you all. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I thank you, gentlemen, for making this a most exciting show tonight. Spillage.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah!